Welcome to today's episode, where we dive into the transformative world of legal AI. We'll explore how this cutting-edge technology is reshaping the legal field, streamlining processes, enhancing efficiency, and paving the way for innovative solutions. Whether you're a legal professional, a tech enthusiast, or just curious about the future of law and technology, this episode has something for everyone. Welcome to this episode of Legal Tech with AlphaLect.
All right, diving in today, legal AI. We're going to break it down.
Yeah.
We've got all sorts of stuff to look at, not just the what, but the how. Like, how is it actually working right now? And then, where's all this going? Buckle up, everybody. Legal AI, here we come.
Really is something how tech is changing, even like the lawyer world.
Yeah.
Used to be so human-centered.
Right. Okay, so, got to start basic. When we say legal AI, what are we even talking about? I see this legal tech thing in the research, and is that just jargon?
Yeah, it sounds kind of jargony. Legal tech basically means any tech used in law. Could be simple stuff, document software, all the way to, the AI systems we're talking about.
So like a spectrum, AI is the fancy end.
Exactly, that cutting edge.
Okay, got it. So legal AI is part of this bigger tech trend in law. But what makes it special?
Legal AI uses, artificial intelligence to actually do legal tasks. Could be reviewing tons of documents for a case, or even predicting how a judge might rule.
Yeah.
Uses AI's strengths, speed, being accurate, spotting patterns to make the whole legal process smoother.
Instead of replacing lawyers, it's giving them superpowers.
That's it. Not about replacing, about empowering. Imagine you can go through thousands of pages of documents in minutes, or instantly research cases from different countries.
Yeah.
That's the efficiency legal AI can bring.
Makes you wonder what lawyers even did before.
Right.
But there's also this talk about making legal help more affordable. Is that real, or is that hype?
I think it's possible. One of the biggest problems getting legal help is the cost, right? So if AI can automate the routine stuff, lawyers can maybe offer services cheaper, making legal help open to more people.
Okay, that makes sense. It's like how telehealth is making healthcare more accessible.
Absolutely. And that's a bigger trend, technology making specialized services available to more people. What other examples can you think of?
Ooh, good question. Well, like you said, telehealth, education too, right? Online learning, making things cheaper, accessible anywhere.
Perfect. And in finance, those apps that let you manage your own investments, things only rich people used to have access to.
Yeah, it's like we're watching how we get expertise, like how we even interact with it, change completely. Pretty cool to think about.
Definitely. But let's stick with legal AI for now. How is it actually being used right now? Our sources mentioned some pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah, some wild stuff, like document review, right? AI handling the mountains of paperwork involved in big lawsuits or mergers.
Huge time saver. Legal AI can go through those documents super fast, pick out key info, and even spot problems that might take human lawyers weeks to find.
So it's not just about speed, it's about catching things humans might miss.
Exactly. Way more efficient.
Pretty impressive. Anything else that shows what legal AI can do? I mean, besides the document stuff?
Definitely. Predicting case outcomes.
Yeah.
This is fascinating. It's not about knowing the future, of course.
Sure.
It's more like analyzing past cases, looking for patterns and trends.
Okay.
Imagine an AI that can say, hey, here's how judges ruled in similar cases, these arguments worked, and here's a possible settlement range. That's powerful stuff.
Wow, that's like a crystal ball for legal strategy. Changes everything for lawyers and their clients.
Exactly. It gives them a huge advantage. But remember, it's still a tool. It's not replacing human judgment. Lawyers still got to interpret the info, think about the specifics of each case, and make the final call.
Right, makes sense. Speaking of making legal help easier, our sources mention virtual assistants, chatbots. Is that like having a pocket lawyer?
Kind of. Imagine you've got a chatbot that can answer basic legal questions, helps you through simple things like filling out forms, or even points you to the right legal resources.
That could be huge for people who don't know where to start with legal stuff or find it all really intimidating. AI making legal help less scary.
Exactly.
Okay, but here's the big question everyone's thinking about. With all this fancy AI, can it actually replace lawyers altogether?
We're going to dig into that later on. But for now, let's just say that while AI is changing how law works, it's not about to make human lawyers obsolete, at least not yet.
All right, a little cliffhanger. I'm definitely curious to hear more about that whole debate. But before we get into AI versus lawyers, let's dig deeper into how legal AI is already changing the game. All right, so AI is a powerful tool in the legal world, but it's not going to replace lawyers entirely, at least not yet. But I am curious about that whole debate. What are the arguments for and against AI taking over, the courtroom?
Oh, it's complicated for sure, but let's break it down. So people who think AI could replace lawyers, they point to how good it is with routine stuff. Like think about contracts, right? AI can go through hundreds of pages, find any issues, even suggest changes, all in way less time than a person.
Yeah, that makes sense. Time is money, and AI is fast.
Exactly. But being a lawyer is more than just processing documents.
Definitely more to it than that. There's the human element.
Yeah. And that's where the arguments against AI taking over come in. AI is great with logic, data analysis, all that, but it doesn't have that emotional intelligence, the understanding of people that's so important in law.
Right. So an AI might be able to analyze a contract, but could it negotiate a settlement or persuade a jury? Trials aren't just about facts and figures.
Exactly. You need empathy, persuasion, being able to read between the lines, understanding what the case means for people. AI hasn't quite got that yet.
That's interesting. It reminds me of something I saw in our research. AI hallucination. Sounds kind of sci-fi, but what is it?
It's a weird one. Basically, it's when AI creates something that's just plain wrong, factually incorrect, or even completely made up. Like imagine an AI writes a contract and cites a law that doesn't exist. That's hallucination. And it shows why you still need a human in charge.
So even if AI drafts documents or does research, a lawyer still needs to check its work. Like it's a super smart intern, but one you got to supervise.
Exactly. Powerful tool, but not perfect. Lawyers need to interpret what it gives them, make sure it's accurate, and then make the important decisions.
So it's not AI versus lawyers, it's more like how they can work together, right? What does that mean for the future of law? Is AI a threat or an opportunity?
That's the big question. Some lawyers are worried, thinking AI will take their jobs, but others see it as a chance to, evolve. Focus on the stuff that needs human skill, like creative thinking, judgment calls, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I can see both sides. It's scary when technology shakes up your whole field. But maybe AI lets lawyers focus on the more human parts of law, like building relationships with clients or thinking strategically.
For sure. To change, gotta adapt. Probably see new legal jobs popping up, ones that need both law and AI knowledge.
Like how the internet created all those new jobs nobody even thought of before.
Exactly.
Speaking of changing things up, the research talks about legal AI revolutionizing legal research. It's not just about speed, right? AI can see connections humans might miss.
Totally. There's so much legal info out there. It's overwhelming. Cases, laws, regulations, articles. It's a mountain of stuff. But AI can analyze it all so fast and find patterns and connections that would take humans, I don't know, years to find, maybe decades.
So, like, an AI could find some obscure case from ages ago with a precedent that changes everything in a current case, like a superpowered legal detective.
Exactly. And it's not just individual cases. AI can analyze trends, see new areas of law developing, even predict how arguments might work in different places.
Wow, that's amazing. Like a legal compass helping you navigate all the different systems.
Right. And it's not just research. AI is being used to write legal documents too. Contracts, briefs, even whole legal arguments.
So AI is helping lawyers write better, more persuasive stuff. Makes that superpowered assistant idea even more real.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And the crazy part is this assistant is always learning, getting better. The more data it sees, the better it gets at understanding legal stuff, picking out important info, and creating stuff that's accurate and, persuasive.
It's like the AI gets more experienced with each case, right? Mind-blowing potential there.
Definitely. But like any powerful tool, there are downsides, challenges. We can't ignore those. Which brings us to, the ethics of it all.
Right, we got to talk about the risks, too. So let's unpack those ethical concerns. This deep dive is getting pretty deep.
Yeah.
All right, back to the deep dive. We've looked at how legal AI works, what it's doing right now, even that whole AI versus lawyers thing. But what about the future? What's coming next?
It is fun to think about, right? Where's it all going? But some things are pretty clear already.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, legal AI is not going away. In fact, it's probably going to be everywhere in the next few years, just more and more common.
So faster adoption, that's a big trend. Like legal AI is going to be standard not just for big firms, but for everyone.
Exactly. We're already seeing smaller firms using it, even solo lawyers, government agencies. And it's not just about, keeping up with the competition.
Yeah.
It's about the benefits, being more efficient, saving money, being more accurate. Makes sense for anyone in law, really.
Makes sense. But if AI is everywhere, how does that change being a lawyer? What skills are going to be like the hot ones in this AI future?
Well, knowing about both law and technology, obviously that's big. But it's more than that. Think critical thinking, problem solving, how to analyze data, even creativity. Lawyers will need to be comfortable working with AI, knowing what it can do, what it can't.
So it's not just using the tools, it's understanding how AI changes the whole job, right?
Exactly. You got to adapt.
Makes me wonder, will law schools have to change what they teach to get people ready for this?
I think they probably will, yeah. Things are changing so fast. Imagine courses on AI ethics, how to keep data private when you're using AI in law, maybe even using AI for litigation strategy. Future lawyers will need to know the old stuff and the new tech stuff.
It's like coding's become a must-have in so many fields. Maybe AI law will be its own thing.
Could be.
This also makes me think about like the global impact. The research says AI could lead to legal systems becoming more similar around the world. Is that good, bad, or somewhere in between?
That's a tough one. Lots to consider. On the one hand, it could make things smoother, like for international trade. Imagine contracts that are easy to enforce anywhere, legal decisions you can use in different systems. That could make global business way easier, even help countries work together on legal stuff.
Yeah, like a universal legal language almost. Super efficient.
Right. But there's the other side. What about all the unique things about different legal systems, different cultures? Do we lose those if everything becomes the same?
That's a good point. Efficiency is great, but we don't want to erase all the differences.
Exactly. We got to find the balance. It's something to think about as AI keeps changing law everywhere.
It brings us back to the ethical stuff we talked about before. If AI is getting more powerful, more common in law, those ethical frameworks are even more important, right?
Absolutely. We can't just ignore the risks. Got to ask the hard questions, put safeguards in place so AI is used responsibly and fairly. Data privacy is huge. If legal AI is looking at all this sensitive client info, how do we keep it safe?
Yeah, confidentiality is everything in law. AI can't mess that up.
Right. And we got to watch out for bias. If the data used to train the AI is already biased, it'll just make things worse. Legal AI needs to be designed and used so it's fair, so everyone has equal access to justice.
AI is a tool, right? Like any tool, it can be used for good or bad. It's on us to guide it, make sure it fits with our values, with what we want a just system to look like.
I completely agree. We get to decide what the future of legal AI looks like. It's not set in stone. It's about the choices we make, the questions we ask, how we build those ethical frameworks.
Well, that's our deep dive into legal AI. I don't know about you, but I feel like I learned a lot and it's made me think in new ways.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much potential this tech has, but also some real challenges we got to be aware of.
We covered a lot. What legal AI is, how it's being used right now, that whole AI versus lawyer thing, even the ethics and how it's affecting the whole world. But the big takeaway for our listeners is this isn't just some far-off future thing. Legal AI is here. It's happening now.
And as things keep changing, we all got to stay informed, talk about these things, and make choices about how we want AI to be part of our legal systems, our society.
So listeners, stay curious, keep asking questions, and let's build a future where tech works for justice for everyone. Until next time on The Deep Dive, keep exploring.